Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I was asked to rank my Chanel fragrances that I have in my collection, and since this is the house that I have the most fragrances from in my collection, I thought this would be a good time to do it since I still have a few things on my wish list. I've sold a few this year, and right now I'm at a pretty solid 14 fragrances that I do love and am not intending to get rid of, but I just wanted to go through them with you and show you what I've got, tell you a little bit about each one and why I love it. And I'm going to start with number 14 and work my way up to my favorite. So in sort of last place in my collection, I have Chanel Allure. This is the EDT version. This is the version I wore way back in the 90s and have been wearing on and off ever since. It's a really beautiful floral citrusy fragrance that is very light. It's got some vanilla in it and it sort of makes it very soft. It's very wearable, something that I used to wear as a signature scent, and I wore it to work, I wore it at home, I wore it on the weekends, going out, pretty much special occasions, anything. I absolutely love this fragrance and it is definitely a keeper. It's just the least favorite of the 14 that I have. At number 13 on my list, I have Chanel's Coco Noir, and this is another beautiful fragrance. It's a little bit woodier. It's got a little bit of citrus, some florals, and it's just a really beautiful kind of deep scent that I love to wear in the evenings or to special occasions specifically. This is one I love to wear around the holiday season. It's just absolutely sophisticated, beautiful, one that definitely gets you taken seriously when you wear it, and I absolutely love it. The next fragrance on my list is from the Les Exclusifs line. I have quite a few fragrances now in my collection from this line, and this is 1932. And while I love this fragrance, I do find that it reminds me of many other fragrances in my collection from Chanel. It sort of smells a little bit like number 5, a little bit sweeter, but it is definitely a citrusy, floral, beauty that is light, and I find that I don't really smell it so much on myself when I'm wearing it, which is why it's so low on this list, but I do think it's a very delicate and beautiful fragrance and definitely one that I absolutely love. The next fragrance on my list is Chanel Jersey. This is a really stunning vanilla and lavender fragrance, and a lot of people kind of are turned off by the lavender in this scent, but I find the lavender to not be very prominent. I smell it right in the beginning when I spray it on, but then I just get this beautiful, really calming, soothing vanilla that comes through, and on my skin anyway, I definitely get more of the vanilla than I do the lavender, but it's fresh, it's pretty, it's clean, and it's, to me, very sort of soft and comforting, and one that I love to wear to bed. The next fragrance on my list is Chanel's number 19 Poudre, and this is a powdery version of Chanel number 19, which is considered to be a very green scent. I love this because it's fresh, it's clean, it's soft, it's powdery, and it's something that is very uplifting. I tend to wear this more during the day, and I loved wearing this when I worked in the office. It's just a really nice, light, non-offensive scent. There's really no sweetness to this. It's just very fresh, very clean, and absolutely powdery and beautiful. Next up on my list is Cristal Eau Verte. This is a beautiful, bright, sparkly, citrusy floral fragrance that, again, I love to wear during the day and to the office. I find this to be very uplifting, very energizing, and at the same time a little bit sweet and just absolutely stunning for the spring and summer months, and one that I get a ton of use out of. Next up on my list is Chanel Beige. This is also from the Les Exclusifs line. This is a really beautiful kind of floral that is a little bit sweet. I know there's some honey in this, and I believe there's a frangipani note. There's definitely something about this that makes it very kind of a solar fragrance that I love wearing during the summer months. It's a little bit sweet, but also very cozy and comforting, and one that I absolutely love and adore. Next up, also from the Les Exclusifs line, I have Chanel number 22. This is a fragrance that I believe was in the original lineup that was presented to Coco Chanel when she chose number 5, which was the 5th in the lineup. This number 22 is actually very, very similar, I would say, to number 5, but I would say this one, it has even more aldehydes. It's really bright and sparkly when you put this on, and it's almost kind of cold, but yet refreshing at the same time. There's something about this fragrance that to me just exudes elegance and just screams Chanel all the way, and I absolutely love this fragrance. Next up, I have a fragrance from the Les Eaux line. This is Paris Venise, which is a very beautiful kind of citrusy, white floral, musky, and a little bit vanilla, like sweet. There's some sweetness, but it's like a warm sweetness. To me, I would describe this as a white, citrusy, warm floral, and it's absolutely stunning. This is an EDT formulation, so you can spray it on, spray a lot on when you use it. I have it on my tray right now so that I am using it more this month because I do find this is the perfect time of year to wear something sort of light and refreshing. I would say this is the most floral from the whole Les Eaux line, but this is my absolute favorite, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. And now we're getting into my top 5. At number 5, I have Chanel from the Les Exclusifs line, 1957. And this is a beautiful, powdery, irisy, white floral, musky delight of a fragrance. It's something I love to wear not only going out in the evenings, but also during the day. I find this to be very kind of warm and refreshing and beautiful, and at the same time cool and crisp enough to be able to wear in the warmer weather. I just absolutely love this fragrance. I think it's a masterpiece, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. In the number 4 space in my collection, I have Chanel Gardenia. This is also from the Les Exclusifs line. This is the runner-up fragrance for my wedding day that I ended up taking with me on our honeymoon. I felt like this was more of a spring, summer floral, and I got married in the fall, but it's an absolutely beautiful, sweet, true gardenia scent that just reminds me of the gardenia bushes that we used to have in our backyard right outside of our screened-in porch in North Carolina. We could smell them in the air when the weather got warm, and it was absolutely so comforting. The smell always makes me smile, and definitely one of my top 5 from the Chanel house. And for my last 3 fragrances, they are all the same fragrance in different formulations. For me, there is only one fragrance that is going to be a lifer no matter what. If I could only have one fragrance in my collection, it would be the third one of these that I'll show you. And of course, what I'm talking about is Chanel No. 5. And I've got the Eau de Parfum here formulation. I actually wore Chanel No. 5 on my wedding day, but I wore the Eau de Toilette. And I have found that since that time, I actually do prefer the Eau de Parfum. This is such a beautiful, clean, fresh floral that has some aldehydes. It has a little bit of vanilla. It's warm, it's inviting, it's so cozy and comforting. And this is the scent, of course, that Marilyn Monroe was famously quoted for saying that this was all she wore to bed. And I can absolutely see why, because it's such a cozy, comforting scent. I would absolutely wear this to bed. But now I kind of reserve this formulation for kind of special occasions. I find that it can be a little bit too much day to day, but it's an absolutely beautiful fragrance and my absolute number 1 fragrance from Chanel. In second place, I have Chanel No. 5 Low, which is the light younger sister of Chanel No. 5. I would say this is the youngest sister who likes to smell fresh and clean. This is the most modern, I would say, of the Chanel No. 5s. It is a little bit more citrusy, a little bit, like I said, more fresh. It definitely has a little bit of muskiness to it, and definitely something that you can wear day, night, any occasion, but definitely still, you can still smell Chanel No. 5 in there, but this one is a lot cleaner and a lot more approachable, I would say, and great for kind of every day. I absolutely have been loving this fragrance quite a bit since I've moved to a warmer climate. This is the one I've been reaching for the most, but it is not quite my favorite. My next one is my favorite, so this one is my number 2, Chanel No. 5 Low. And of course, my number 1 fragrance of all time, of all my fragrances in my collection that I just absolutely will love and adore forever, is Chanel No. 5 Eau Premier. And this is kind of the middle sister, I would say, of the Chanel No. 5 formulations. This one was introduced as sort of like a more modern take on Chanel No. 5, but what I get from this is Chanel No. 5 with a lot more vanilla and just a lot more coziness and softness. And there's something about this fragrance that will forever remind me of a certain time in my life when I had just recently moved to North Carolina, and I was wearing this pretty much as my signature scent for years. and it went with me everywhere, and that's just what I will forever think of. It was a really nice time of my life and something that always brings a smile to my face. And so yeah, that is my favorite fragrance of all time, favorite fragrance in my collection, and of course my favorite fragrance from Chanel. So that is my current Chanel lineup and how I would rank them at this time. I just recently sold a few, and I have 2 more on my wish list that I'm hoping to find on the pre-love market. They're both from the Les Exclusifs line, and the first one is Mija, which is an absolutely stunning violet fragrance. I started wearing that from my little fragrance wardrobe of all the minis, and I've absolutely been loving it and definitely would love a full-size bottle. And then the other one is Bois d'Azil, which is a really beautiful sandalwood fragrance, and I just love sandalwood. I find it so calming and soothing, and that is one of the best sandalwoods I've ever smelled. I've gone back and forth about getting Coromandel, but I feel like in the climate I live in, I wouldn't wear it quite as much as I would like, so I'm holding off on that one for now. But that's where I'm at this point in time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would love to know what some of your favorites are from Chanel. Please leave that in the comments below. And thank you for the request to this video. I hope I've answered any questions you may have about these fragrances, but if not, please feel free to leave me your comments below as well. And thank you all for watching. I will see you soon in my next video, and have a great day. Bye.